Please, everybody in the chat, welcome Shahbaz, a developer advocate working with Magic, who is going to talk about securing Node.js APIs with decentralized identity tokens. So a round of applause for Shahbaz. And Shahbaz, the stage is yours. I start sharing, so you should be able to share your screen and start the presentation.
Yeah, thank you, Ayman, for having me, and thank you, Belgian JavaScript community, for having me. So, without further ado, let me get started. Can you guys just confirm that? Are you able to see my presentation?
Yes, we see it.
Yes, awesome. So before going into deep, I would just clarify this thing that this is a basic Node.js API, and the motto and the whole focus would be towards securing the APIs and understanding what is decentralized identity token. So I am Mohammad Shahbaz Alam, a developer advocate at Magic. Yes, there's a company called Magic, and magic.link is a website similar to Magic Link, what you receive on your email. So that is it. So what to expect from this talk? So we will first understand why we have shifted towards decentralized identity token. So to understand that, we have to understand the user trust model of the internet is broken. We have to admit it. And then we will understand and learn what is decentralized identity token. And then the topic of the talk is the build a node API. I will be using Express.js. You like feel free to use any framework what you like, but for the simplicity of this talk, I'm using Express.js. And then once that is done, like we will see how to secure that node API with Magic. So let's get started. So let's understand why and how the user trust model of the internet is broken. So like as a user, we think of like secret and password very specific to ourselves, and we use that to verify our identity, which is like literally writing down the secret in a piece of paper and handing them to the developers of the application, trusting that the companies or the developers would store that secret very securely and responsibly. But you know that not many companies have a proper authentication. So like they roll their own out without the prior knowledge of security and authentication. And user access the company's credentials and resources by, again, writing in a piece of paper the password and handing it to the app developer. In doing that, there is always a risk of exposing your plain text data or the encrypted data, however it is. So there is always a risk of that. And we know that from previous experience, from Equifax and many other breaches, that companies might get hacked and lose user secret along with user trust. So like 48% of the customer never come back after a breach. They don't trust you. They don't trust your application, your organization. And the biggest example is the Equifax breach, which has cost them $1.4 billion. And the stolen secrets are used by the hackers to impersonate you when they want to like access your vital information. For example, you can see this is a mascot of Magic Hero. This color got changed, like from blue, it got red, which is to like identify that this is a hacker, and it uses your same secret to access your data. And this problem of the trust model is like has gone into compounds because there are many companies acting on behalf of you as a user to like allow you to authenticate for them. So your identity is no longer in your hands, but controlled by a handful of centralized large corporation. So the topic of this talk is about the decentralized aspect of it. So what people have tried before Magic is that a zero knowledge authentication where they would use a key-based model. Instead of users thinking of secret themselves, they would use a blockchain-based public-private key pair, which are randomly generated to access your application. And it has its pros that it gives you more control. The companies can't know users' secret. Users can use the same secret to access application, which is a cleaner trust model. But it has its cons as well, which is like, as a user, we are likely to lose our keys, which might lock them out for good and lose our online identity. And worse, like, what if that key is stolen? So the concept of using a key on the internet is too unfamiliar for most mainstream users because of the bad UX. So how Magic has improved the trust so far by providing a delegated key management, which is the model designed by Magic, which leverages the large infrastructure as a service and secure user key with hardware security models. Hardware security modules are similar to YubiKeys. If you've heard about YubiKeys, those physical keys which you use to, like, for your second authentication, 2FA, and all those kind of things. This is like cloud, I would say, like hardware-based security model. So which is used by that, and with technology that hides and protects the private key from companies using it, and even for Magic. So Magic also doesn't know the user's private key in this case. So what this has added is that it has added additional pros, which is about like Magic provides familiar passwordless auth UX by like email passwordless, WebAuthn, social logins, but not the username and the password model what was before. So it's a better UX, and no longer, and the users can no longer lose their keys. And Magic doesn't store password in any case, and cannot know the user's secret key. Okay. Also, Magic has this native support for multiple blockchain because it uses the Ethereum blockchain under the hood. And it also has the additional cons, which is again reliance on a single infrastructure as a service. Enough of what Magic has done. Let's understand what it is. What is DID token? So DID token created by Magic by adapting the prior technologies like JSON Web Token. If you have heard about JSON Web Token, it was base64 JSON string encoded strings, which has header, payload, and signature. It is adapting the similar JSON based string, and also W3's DID protocol. We will learn more about it and how it looks in our application. But this is an encoded base64 JSON tuple representing the proof and claim. We will learn what is proof and what is claim. And it leverages the Ethereum blockchain and elliptic curve cryptography. And to generate, like, why this leverages this? To generate a verifiable proof of identity and authorization. So those proofs are encoded in a lightweight, which is called a digital signature, shared between client and server for managing permissions, protecting routes and resources, and or to authenticate a user. In this case, we will be more focused towards authorizing our users. Also, we will see how to authenticate a user and get a DID token later in this talk. So DID token is encoded as a base64 JSON string tuple representing the proof and claim. So you can see the proof is a digital signature, which we get after signing the claims. And claim is unsigned data, like the user data, and then all this get converted into base64 JSON string, which gets resulted into JSON DID token. So the claim has multiple fields, which is like issued at, when it is issued, expiration time, when it is going to be expired, who is this? It's as issuer, similar to this, what are its subject, audience, and like unique token identifier. And it also has NBF, which is not valid before time, which is like this is not valid before this time. This token is not valid before this time. And this gets signed as a proof, and then same function as applied. So this is a pseudocode, how it's getting generated. Uh, the, these are the keys, and which has like the issued at, expiration time, not before valid timestamp, and issuer, subject, audience, arbitrary serialized data, and unique token identifier. So this is the aspect of what DID looks. And how do you generate a DID token with Magic? Because Magic has created this DID token. How do you use that? Magic has a package called Magic SDK. Use that and provide that package. I will show in a demo how to get this API key. And then we use this functions called like using this auth.login with Magic link. What it does is that it accepts an email. It's going to be your email. And then by default, this function also gives you a DID token, which has a lifespan of 15 minutes. But to get a DID token, which has a lifespan more than 900 seconds, which is equivalent to 15 seconds, you can specify this by doing this and get the DID token, which has the like longer expiration time. So first understand how the authentication happens with DID token. So this is the life of a login request happening when you do the login with Magic Link function. So what happens is that in the browser, Magic SDK is loaded, a login request is called. When that is done, a Magic iframe is loaded onto your application on your browser. And the login request goes to Magic service, which sends an email, which is a Magic link to user's inbox. When the user clicks that and confirms that link, it comes back as a it has resolved the polar, which is here checking all the time. Like when the Magic iframe gets to the Magic services with a login request, there is a polar each 2 seconds. It checks whether the login has happened successfully or not. So once the login is done, it says that like it comes back, and then it says that the login has done. It also has an optional redirect option, URI option, where if you want to confirm the click and want your application to redirect in certain URL or different URL, you can provide that. So this is how the login life of a login request is at login with Magic Link. Then understand today's use case, how and what we are going to build. We are going to focus more on the server side of it, but just to test and get the DID token, we will also use a client, which is very easy to get started with Magic. I'll show you how that is done. And then what it happens is that a user or a browser like request for the DID token by authenticating to client, which is a front-end application. In this case, we are going to use the Next.js example of Magic. What it does that it gives back a DID token with a lifespan of 15 minutes by default. But if you want more than that, you can always specify the lifespan of it. And once that is done, we have our DID token with us in our browser. What we want is that we can call a protected API route, which is protected by Magic with a bearer token, which is a DID token. And at the server level, we validate that token. And if that is valid, we return back that it is an authenticated true request. So let's build a Node API. So this is how the fun part begins. So I'm sure that you are aware of it, but I would go on. I have already created an application, but just to showcase if someone who are very new to Express and Node, how you can create an Express application as well as API. So create a directory called Express API. I have created Express API BJS. And what you need is simple npm I to install like init, npm init. And what you want is that all your options to be true. What it gives is that it gives various functions. Let me open this in folder. So what it gives us is a JSON package, which has its name, version, a description, and things like this. It's very simple. No big deal over here. And the next is to have a index file. So let's have it index file. Okay. So let's create an index.js file. So in this, what we want is that we have already enable an Express API by using this. We have not done that. So let's install the npm I is to install, and then we install like npm, or I prefer yarn over npm. So what you can do is yarn add express. So this will add a function, like it would add a package over here. You can see the dependency is express, and then you can use that. Like this is very basic, I know, so bear with me if someone is more into this. I can just go on later on using how it looks and everything around that. You just need this, and again a const function representing your app, and what it does is that it calls the express. So your express application is running. To use it, we will use app.get to have our first route, and it uses a request and response in the function, and will use arrow function, and then say whatever, like response.send hello PJS. Okay, and then at last we will say app.listen and provide the port number to this. So let me provide a port number 9000 for the simplicity. Once we do this, come back to your terminal, or maybe use this terminal inbuilt here. But once you do node and your index file, a server will be running, a local server will be running at localhost 9000. Let me bring this here, localhost 9000. So yeah, server is running, all is looking good, but we want more than this. So let's kill this and switch to what I have already built and walk you through in there. So this is the application which I have built. Apart from basic package.json, what I have added is just a script to start my application, which is start node, and again calling the same function, but we can use like yarn start or npm like run start, just for the simplicity of it. What we are also using is that we are using a .env file to access our port variable and magic secret key, which I'll talk later on. And this is how the application would look. This is similar to us, what I have already shown, which is having these two lines. But what I have added is I've added another package, which is admin SDK, Magic SDK admin, and it gives you a magic instance of it, which we use to instantiate the magic instance at server side. So let me walk you through about this code, what it does, and what are the dependencies of it. So I've also used .env just to get the env variable from env files, .env files. So this is very simple. And then we are using express.json as a middleware here to enable parsing of the JSON object in the body of the request, which is what when you build a REST API. So the protecting part of it comes here, where we instantiate the magic object, magic instance, by providing the key variable. The key is the magic secret key. And what this API gives is a list of to-dos. Ideally, this would be from your database or from your Mongo database or wherever you have hosted. But for the simplicity, this is an array of objects. which has like to-dos in it. It has ID and title. Okay. Then we have different routes, which is the first route is the home route. And when you visit that, it would say that presto, welcome to Magic. And then we have a secret route, which says that you are secured by it and not everyone can access it without going through the isAuthorized function. So isAuthorized function is a function which we call a middleware, and everything happens here. I'll come back later to this part, but just to give you what this API does is that it has two routes, one normal routes, one is the home route and another one is the secret route. There are two types of APIs you can build is based on protecting the routes and also the proper APIs based on REST convention, the RESTful convention. So this /API/todos will give you the list of to-dos available on the server. And this would give you the individual to-dos by providing the ID of it. And what it does is that it finds that ID. Based on that ID, it finds the to-do. If there is, then if there is no to-do found, we respond back with 404 and send that to-do with the ID of that particular ID was not found. And if there is an ID, we show that ID by because we have found that ID over here, and then we send back like response.status. And here is the you can split it into multiple lines, but for simplicity, it's in one line because we are not doing much here, just returning the 404 status if the to-do is not found. And from here, the basic convention is that like if I have not used functions like isAuthorized, and if you want to protect this particular route for the post, for the updating or creating a to-do, and we want that our API would have two basic functions. One would to get all the to-dos, which are like unprotected, anyone can have it. But other things like creating a to-dos or updating a to-dos or deleting a to-do would require some sort of authorization to do that. And for that, we are using, again, app.use as a middleware function, similar to express.json. To use this as a middleware, we provide app.use and then pass on the function to it. Again, later on, what this does. So why this line over here is to any route coming below this line would automatically have the isAuthorized middleware added to it. Or alternatively, what you could do is that you provide the second parameter, something like this, to all of your function. That is also fine. But I think this looks nicer and cool in terms of less code to write. So what this does is that, again, it creates, this is to create a to-do. We look in the title, whether the title of the body is empty. If there is an empty title coming from post request, we say that the title is missing. And if there is a body which has a title in it, we create a object, like we create a to-do object and then pushes to the array and send back as a convention to REST. We send back what has been changed at our end. We send back the created to-do to the users. And then we have put request. Again, this is to update our to-dos. We find that to-do first. If there is no to-do found, we say that there is no to-do with that particular ID. If again, then we need to check whether the title of the to-do was sent or not. If there is, then we would go ahead and create, update that title of the to-do with the request coming to us at the server. If there is no title found, again, we would say that the title is missing. And if that is the updated thing has done, we send back again the to-do. Similar happens with the delete to-do. We find the to-do. If no to-do, we say that there is a 404. And then what we do is that we find the index of that particular to-do and do the splicing using a splice and then providing the index and one value. and then send back again the normal convention of REST to send back what was received. So let's understand what is happening at is authorized, which is the main source of this application, which is to secure how to secure this API. Without this line, all our routes would be unprotected. I would show the example how it looks in that, but like without having this particular line, all our routes will be unprotected. So what it takes, like is authorized function, you can name it any function, whatever you want, but it has a request, a response, and a next as a parameter. Okay, so what it does, first we need to check whether the authorization header is not undefined. Okay, we have some sort of authorization header coming to our server, and we need to make sure that it's not undefined. If there is the undefined, we send a message back to the client saying the authorization header is required. Okay, and if there is authorization header, we extract that particular header by splitting it with a break, which is what the normal authorization header looks like, which is like authorization, and then we have like bearer, and then we write the token. So what this does is this splits in the, if there is a space in this string, we split this and get the first value of it. This is the first value, this is the 0th value of it. It's normal, very normal over here. So we get that token. So actually we know this is a DID token, but feel free to name this particular variable as what you want, but this is a DID token. So what Magic gives us is that a function which is like calling it through token, magic.token.validate. So this functions returns true. It doesn't return anything as of now. Like if there is any error, they would say that there was an error, but it doesn't give you much information about whether it's valid token or not. But if it's valid, it would go forward and your request would happen. And what we do over here is we return and call the next function to proceed forward. And we return this because we don't want to continue the functions like running down this line. So we return next, and the function would normally continue doing this. And again, this has app.listen. We use port over here. It's a simple use of variables and how you could get this magic key. So this is working very fine. But for now, let's run, for example, how it looks. So let me run this application, like yarn start, or you can totally write like node index, so or node mod, whichever you prefer, but I prefer yarn start. Yarn start. So it gives a message saying server is listening on port 8080. Okay, so again, you would see, let's come back to this example, right? Earlier it was 9000, give this 8080. So this has a saying that Presto, welcome to Magic. This is an unsecured route. And if we try to use the secret, it says a message saying that the authorization header is required. But we cannot pass the authorization header using browser. So what we use a tool, something called Postman or Insomnia, whichever you prefer. So let's see how it looks. For example, let me remove the auth token as of now. So this is a route which is pointing to localhost 8080 and secret. Again, passing to this would have same problem. Like it would ask whether provide the authorization header. And what Postman gives you is that when you go to the authorization header part, you can select the bearer token or any sort of token, whatever you want. But for this, for the ease of it and how we use it, provide the bearer token and pass on this token. How do you get this token? So obviously this is not we have built right now. So how do you get that? the easiest would be to run, for example, let me open a file. And so Magic gives you a tool called npx make magic. And you can specify a template, for example, template next. So what it gives you, let me show what it gives you. It gives you an application, whichever you want, like create magic app. So for this, like front end to API, front end Express API. And it asks for a publishable API key. So where to get this publishable API key? And before this, we were asked to get the like the magic secret key. So it's very simple to get that publishable API key. Just go to magic.link and sign up for free. It's very you can try this for free. You can create your account. So I've already created my account, and like select whichever application you want. For example, let's take Magic next, or maybe create another API, another application. So it gives you a test publishable key, and it also has a server application over here. So copy this and come back and paste this. So I have pasted this, and it also asks for secret key. Let's not reveal this later on. I'll delete this application, but yeah, let's not reveal your secret key anywhere. But for the use of this example, I'll go ahead and use that publishable API key and secret key. It asks for your preferred NPM client. Mine is always Yarn. I do that, and within few seconds, your next application would be ready with Magic. We also have multiple templates where you can learn more about it. For this, it would take few times, and then it will run your application, saying which port it is running. So this is very cool example to showcase like how this is running on your localhost 3000. So let us see how it looks. So this gives us more idea on how our application would look in terms of the front end part of it. If everything is working fine, let me see. It's compiled perfectly. Do I miss anything? No. So I think everything should be running fine as of now, but maybe there is some caching error. Oops, always this happens with the live demo, but worry not. I have already created before this. This is just to showcase how you could have your application up and running in the front end part where we get the DID token. So if you see, okay, where did I miss? Okay, yeah, I have this running. So I've also already created another application, the front-end application. Let's run that. I hope this would start very normally, hopefully, and we will have an application up and running here. So yes, this is what you get upfront. You might not have what I have here, which is to get a DID token. What you need to do is that like just call a DID, like again a get ID token function, and then set that into the set DID token, or however you want to get this particular DID token. But mind you, from the presentation I've said, when you log in, by default it gives you a DID token, but I'm creating somewhere else. This is what I have added to the next application, and this is this tool and what I have added to the next application, what you get by running this npx make magic scaffolding. So let's see how this gives. So this gives us a DID token, and using this token, hopefully that would work. So let's come back again to the secret route, which was asking for an authorization header, and paste this token. Ideally, you would do this from the front-end application using Axios or a fetch, like fetch API, but paste this and call. So it says that you are in good hands, secured by Magic. So what it does is that it allows you by validating that particular token. And let me give you maybe remove few of the lines from here, a few of the characters from here, and see what error it gives. So it gives that there is an admin SDK error, which is saying that there is a malformed token. The DID token is malformed or failure to parse. Or maybe I think I have some token from earlier use case which got expired, hopefully. So let me paste that. And when you do that, it says that the DID is expired. So your token has expired. You can see each time it accepts a valid token. So let me come back again and copy this token, paste it over here, and see that your secret route is visible now. You are now in good hands, secured by Magic. Then let's test the API routes, what we have. Like by default, when you call the API to-dos, it will fetch all of your to-dos because this is not authenticated route. But if you want to authenticate this as well, what we need to do is just move that particular line. For example, this line, just move this line to, for example, over here. Yes, I think. So what it does is that below this line, all of our routes is authorized. So let me again call this. Maybe I need to restart the server because I have changed and I'm not using NodeMon. So when you do that, it would say that the authorization header is required for this. But ideally, let's come back again and bring it here just to showcase that these two routes are unprotected routes. And the below of this would be the protected routes. So let me again stop the server and start again. It's listening on port 8080. So now you could see that all of your to-dos is working, and maybe try getting the to-dos first, which has which is available with us, and try getting something which is not with us. So like the to-do with the ID 5 was not found. So how do we create a new to-do? Calling the same endpoint, but selecting post as a HTTP verb. But when you do this, again, you can see this. I think this is from the previous token. Let's remove this. It would again say that the authorization header is required. Let's copy this. Hopefully this would work. And we have this, and we would say that and then obviously not this. This is a friend of mine, Mehtab, and we are playing with it before this, that Mehtab should not go to home and should go to home and something like that. Maybe add something more, like for example, hi, this is working now. This is working now, and then pass that. What if we don't pass the ID to the title in it? So it would say that the title is missing. Obviously, we have created that function to it. And then we can update our token similarly by providing this, and same goes with delete. So let me find, like, let's delete the fourth number, because that was about Mehtab should go to home or should not go to home, and which is not ideally the to-do I would prefer. And then call that. Again, it says it is missing. Let's copy that and paste the same DID token what we received from the front end of the application, and it would say that Mehtab should go to home. And what it means is that your to-do is deleted. Let me confirm that. So we have an ID of 2, 3, and then 5. So there is no mention of Mehtab going home or not going home. So yes, this is what all about the securing your APIs using Magic. So the main part of it is to have check the authorization header and grab that token from that, and then validate that particular token. And to do that, there is two different steps. Or ideally, your Node application would be for example, like creating the APIs, and maybe you would be using some other front end stack, Next.js or Next.js, or maybe Gatsby, or maybe simple plain HTML or JavaScript based front end application. And you can totally play around with the front end of the part, where you can get the DID token and then pass on that DID token to the API route, and then extract that from the authorization header and check this function. So this is where the magic sauce is what we call, like, to validate that particular thing. And remember from the previous experience from JWT, you would need a secret key, and that is something which you need from the client side as well, and from the server side itself. You would have a secret variable or secret file, and then you use that to encrypt and decrypt, or maybe encode or decode your JWT string. But in this case, there is no mention of password or any sort of things involved with that. So yes, that was it for the building of Node APIs and securing that APIs. Similar to what I have created using Next. Hopefully very soon we will have a template called npx make magic hyphen template. And when you do the it will ask for your application name, and then it will ask for the server template, and it will give the server API key, like the magic secret key. And when you paste that, it will run your application similar to what I have shown you, and then you are good to go in that part. And again, building the front end of the application is very simple with Magic, is that running npx make magic and then specifying the template. Let me show just because I think if we have few more time, I can show what more templates we have. Just don't specify anything, just run npx make magic in your terminal. It will again ask for your application name, and then it will, oh yeah, we have an Express APIs with us. So that's fine. I think it's not in the production, I'm using in the local build. What you use is that you select this Express API, and again, it asks for your secret key, which I can obviously get from this just to showcase what it gives you. And then you paste this secret key and select your NPM client, and then your application would be running in very few minutes by downloading all of your files and packages and starting your server. So hopefully something has not working. Maybe it's in the production. It's still in beta. So hopefully once this is live, I hope you would be able to run this application similar to Next application or something like that. So yeah, I think this is it for the talk. And all of the resources you can find here. The Express API, what I've created is found, it could be found on my GitHub repo, Magic Express API, and selecting the Magic Express API branch, or maybe the normal branch. It will have multiple branches. And then for example, Magic Go Admin SDK. Sorry for the typo. It should be Node Admin SDK. It's just because I've used the same resource file from the Go application. So sorry for that. It should be Magic Node Admin SDK. And then to learn more about what is decentralized identity, you can visit anytime at our docs and learn more about it. What is zero knowledge proofs, how you can find the DID primer, what is DID token, and then how we do the delegated key management. And all things can be found on our Magic docs and Magic guides, where you would see plenty of examples and learnings around how to add passwordless authentication to your application. So this was me. I'm again a believer of more of the tools online. So if you run in your terminal npx md sbz alam, so it's a short form of md is Muhammad, sbz is Shahbaz, and alam. So if you run this, you would probably get similar things like where to follow me on Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, GitHub, dev.to, and then this is my email. So yeah. Thank you, Belgian JavaScript community, for having me. And if anyone has any questions related to anything in my talk, I'll be sharing this presentation link with Ayman, and I think he would be circulating that with the BJS community. So thanks again for having me. My name is Shahbaz. I hope you have learned few things, if not many. So and you would be using Magic, or maybe try understanding the decentralized aspect of it, and maybe getting back the control of our identity in our own hands. So yes, thank you for having me.
Thank you, Shahbaz, for this nice presentation. Guys in the chat,